Alright, today I'm going to show you how to cut down a tree. The tree I'm going to cut down today is this pine tree. This video isn't an instruction video on how to cut down a tree. I'm basically going to show you how I usually cut down a tree and what are the methods I use. This tree is a pretty straight tree. It does not have a lean to it. Cutting down leaning trees require a whole different type of methods, and there are plenty of videos on YouTube on show you how to do that. This is a quick video of how on basics of cutting down a pretty straight tree that does not have any structure close by. A simple way of just going through and bringing down a fairly small to medium sized pine tree. Now, as I said, this tree doesn't have a lean to it. It's pretty straight, as you can see. You go up, and the closest tree to it is about maybe 20 feet. And the direction that I'm gonna fell this tree is gonna be pretty much down this direction. And so as you can see, there are no homes or any structures or anything that this tree could damage as it comes down. So it should be pretty straightforward. Now, one of the things, the first thing you do before you do anything is determine if the tree has a lean. So as I mentioned, this does not have a lean, it's pretty straight. Another is you want to look around, and obviously you want to determine the direction you want to bring it down, which is going to be that. Next is figure out the direction that you're going to walk away from the tree as it is about to come down. So since I'm going to cut it and have it come down that way, and more likely I'm going to be here when I finish the cut, and I'll show you how that's done. Since I'm going to be probably coming either this direction or that direction, I want to make sure on the ground there aren't any trip hazards. Trip hazards could be pieces of wood, rock, or could be brushes that could trip me as I come to walk away from the tree and get away from the hazard. So you want to just walk around, make sure there isn't anything in your path, okay? And anything that's going to trip you. That's number one. And number two is, then you want to come over here. And you're basically going to determine, as you're standing next to the tree, the direction that it's going to go, and you look at your where your legs is, and you put your hand and you say, okay, that's where the face is going to be. Okay, this is what's called a face cut, and I'll show you what that is. Basically, it's a slant cut that goes this way and it'll cut that way. It's like a wedge. You're going to cut a wedge that goes about, not quite even halfway, but maybe about maybe about halfway in the trunk of the tree. That's not going to bring the tree down. It's just going to allow it to pivot as it comes down, right? But then you finish that off with this called the back cut, and the back cut is going to be over here. Now, I'm going to show you what are the equipments, what some of the basic. Again, this is just basic equipment you're going to need to bring down a tree. So what is some of the equipment you need to cut a tree down? So again, this is just some of the basic equipment at the minimum. Obviously, you're going to need, if you're doing it with a chainsaw, you need a good chainsaw in working order, gassed up, and it has enough bar oil for the chain. It is definitely a good idea to have ear protection, because you're going to be running the chainsaw for a while, and it can be pretty hard on your hearing. Even more importantly, you need to have eye protection. A lot of sawdust and wood chips going to be flying around. Branches are going to be, snapping, and you really want to protect your eyes with that. And you're going to need at least one wedge, and wedges are usually look like this. They're a form of plastic, and the reason they're plastic is when you're putting the wedge in the area you've cut the tree, you're going to hammer the wedge in, and I'll show you how that's done. The reason it's plastic because the edge of the wedge is going to be close to the chainsaw, and the chainsaw can it'll be easier on the chainsaw teeth. Chainsaw will just eat through it, and it won't damage the chainsaw, and it will still do what it's supposed to do. Now I don't have another one. I have one plastic one. I have a a solid steel wedge, which is not a good idea. It's good to have at least two plastics, but today I'm just going to use these two. And you're going to need something to drive the wedge in. So again, these are just the minimum. In addition to that, if you're doing a good amount of tree cutting, it is good to have what's called chaps that protects your clothes. This is just in case if as you're cutting anything, branches or the tree trunk, there's always a chance of the chainsaw grabbing part of your clothes, and if that happens, it's really what it does. It pulls the clothes in, and therefore what is going to be following the clothes is going to be your skin and your muscles and your bone, and it is very dangerous. It'll just literally cut through your body. And what is good to have is called a chaps. It's usually leather or some vinyl, thick vinyl, that is stiff material that chainsaw does not grab onto it, so it can hit it, but it's less chance of it grabbing onto it. It's like a overall that goes all over you. It's a good idea to have that, and if you don't, you just want to be very mindful when you have the chainsaw on and the chain is running, that is at all times away from you, and you have the stop on the chainsaw engaged or the brake on the chainsaw on. Now we're going to go ahead and get started with the face cut. Alright, so there's actually a little bit of a consideration to drop this tree, and that is, you look on the very top. There is a nearby oak tree branch that is coming fairly close to the tree, and what that is going to do, it is kind of on the way, on the direction where I want to have this pine to come down. So the pine is, as it's going to come down, some of the branches are going to hit that oak branch, and it will want to, the pine is going to want to change its direction toward away from us to the left. And what that's going to happen, there would be no problem if there wasn't anything in that direction, but if you can see in a distance, I don't know if you can see it, but there is a power line, power and network line running in the direction that potentially this tree could come down. So we want to avoid that. I'm about to do the face cut now. Okay, I've finished cutting out what's called the face cut, and now I'm ready to remove the wedge and expose the face cut. So as you can see, what we've done is we've cut the face a little to the angle to the right to try to bring the tree down toward the right. I want to make sure this what's called the hinge area is nice and straight and clean. I'm going to do a little cleaning, then I'm going to do the back cut. What's important about the back cut, which is a straight cut coming in, not all the way to the edge, but right about between 2 inches away from the edge. What this does is allows the tree to have a pivot area or a hinge to come down on. Now what is very important about the back cut, the back cut needs to be always above the bottom of your face cut. Above. You never want to cut below. And that is when all of the material is released from the tree, you want to have the tree have a direction to go, and the direction is forward. If you cut below, if there is any rate on the toward the back of the tree, it will come back the opposite direction you want it to go, which you don't want that to happen. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start cutting about 1 inch or 2 above this plane and come all the way up to about here, and then I'm going to start driving wedge to start coaxing the tree to go to that direction. Alright, so as you can see, it came down pretty much the direction that I had planned. So this was our face cut, and on purpose, as you can see, the face cut is not straight, it's in an angle, and the angle is away from the power line, which is in that direction. So I wanted to have the tree come down more toward the right than toward the left toward the power line. So I on purpose cut the wedge more leaning toward down. Not too much. It looks like about maybe, I don't know, maybe between 5 and 10 degrees. So I came down all the way more than half of the tree, 50% of the diameter of the tree, and then as you can see, there is about 2.5 inches above the face cut plane is where the back cut is. So the back cut is about 2 inches up, and it's the same angle as the face cut. So when you start cutting, that's where you start driving your wedge, pushing the tree that way. Now the reason I didn't have to use the wedge was because of my deep face cut. Deeper the face cut, less wedge you have to use, because you're taking a lot of the heavy material of the tree, and you naturally creating kind of a more of a imbalance for the tree to fall earlier. So I should have probably stopped right about here, so this would have allowed me to cut deeper so that I could then control the fall by a wedge, but this also worked well.